over 1,000 young people in social media, in fundraising, and how to start up their own business. So my hope is that in that pipeline, over the years, we've trained personally over 3,000 kids. Our goal next year is to double that, and eventually we're going to have the first Latino president come out of Voto Latino. No, I can't, which makes it very easy for me. I was actually a proudly naturalized citizen, but I want to pay it forward to identify the talent who's ready to run our country into the 21st century. I think in terms of America, he has found his stride. He is talking about all the right things. He's talking about net neutrality. He's talking about immigration. He's talking about how do we modernize our police force, modernize our elections. He's making sure that we're talking about wage equality. We're finding that he's found his step, and the American people are behind him.
Focus and pay attention to the station. I'm going to bring up some very important people. All right, you guys ready to kick this show off? No, I need everybody. You guys ready to kick this show off?
Voto Latinos here is possible because of the vision of Rosario Dawson. She was kind enough to bring me on her journey, and I want to honor that, and I want to honor her mom, who made the first difficult phone calls of actually coming in and saying, hey, do you want to be a part of something that's nothing yet? So thank you, Rosario. And thank you, Isabel Dawson.
It's a man who created that app in Oakland, and it was an app that would where people could in real time put in whatever gang-related activity was happening so that kids could avoid it on their way home from school. And that was one of the examples that we used when we were telling people about the challenge, to say, hey, we really want you to do something that could really be innovative for your community and really be helpful, like that example. See what you come up with. And so tonight, today, we got over, we had like 300 applications, but the ones that we got actually picked today and our finalists was just absolutely incredible and absolutely on par with that and even bigger. Some people don't have anything to do that they really can't.
Yeah.
If it's where you are and that's where you live and the resources aren't there around you and the government or the boards aren't looking at your neighborhood, and the problem is, unfortunately, if you're not filling out your census form and you're not bringing that money to your community, those are your roads, those are your schools, those are your libraries, that's all of that stuff. So that's one of the reasons, again, we really push on all that stuff and make sure people go and get those monies and get that awareness that they could potentially get, because otherwise you're having to put band-aids on the solution.
Yeah.
Like that application is, where you can just try to at least avoid getting hurt. And it's like, no, let's actually be promoting people getting well and getting healthy and getting an education and getting empowered. How can we do that? And so it was really great to see actually the solutions that came to these problems, and going, let's not just commiserate and talk about these issues and problems. Let's actually figure out resolutions, the things that we can all come together on and say, let's make an impact. And and what do they need? They need infrastructure, they need networking, and they need money. And the fact that Voto Latino and MacArthur Foundation and Google and all of our partners is able to provide that is very, very exciting. Because again, we're a voter registration organization. We push census initiatives. We're in the business of celebrating innovators and making sure, especially young Latino millennials, don't just think of themselves as consumers. They have a lot more to offer. And hopefully, especially looking at the people who came forward today, if we're doing voter registration, those are the people we're voting for tomorrow. And that makes me really excited.
Just last year, we had 1.1 billion media impressions in traditional media and 1.2 billion on Facebook, Twitter, and across social. But that's only because we have an incredible group of folks that believe in the work that we do and pay it forward. And with that, I want to introduce America, Rosario, and Wilmer. Okay, her first. Oh, hello.
Hello.
Good evening. Shut up. I'm America, and I am America. I couldn't be more grateful to be in this room. María Teresa, you are an agent of changing this country, of changing a generation. And thank you for always being there for me when I needed somebody to talk to about my frustrations, my ideas, my passion that I didn't see an outlet for. I remember in the 2012 election feeling really frustrated that I only had two choices, and that we as a community were being solicited, but we weren't being heard.
I was born in Miami, and when I was 3 years old, my parents moved back to Venezuela, and I was raised in Venezuela.
My mother is Colombian, my father is Venezuelan. I was raised in Venezuela until I was about 14. And I grew up watching, American television, right? Syndication. So I grew up watching Chips. And I grew up watching I Love Lucy and The Fresh Prince. So I thought that's what America looked like. And then I got a phone call from Rosario's mom. Okay. And said, hey, we're doing a PSA so we can get Latinos to register to vote. And for me, it was like, wait, they're not registered to vote? For me, it was about painting the America that I grew up knowing that it was, and reminding everyone that it wasn't what we were watching on TV, or it wasn't how the government was talking at us, as opposed to talking with us.
My dad introduced me to a lot of different just comedy growing up. He used to let me watch shows when my mom was out of the house that I should be watching. So as a little kid, I was watching Pryor, Eddie Murphy, and as a little kid, should be watching that, but I did, and those were my early influences. Bill Cosby's greatest thing was if you can work clean, you can work anywhere. If you need a bad word to make it funny, then maybe the joke's not that funny. I've always worked clean, which has helped me in the long run reach younger generations, older generations, and just appeal to everyone across the board.